Welcome to Do Y'all See This?
Reacts.
This is Eva.
And this is Macy. And welcome back to our Do Y'all See This Reacts, where we just want to talk to you about what's going on this week. We always jump right into the catch up. I'll start. Luckily, I have a phone now. I did drop it. I think I told you guys that last week. I did drop it. I was able to recover majority of my pictures, majority of my videos. So everything is good. Keeping that positive attitude, I think, really helped me. Been back at work. What's been going on with you, Ev?
Same old, same old. Work has been fine. The weather's been really nice. You know what? I say that like there wasn't an actual tornado yesterday stopping itself outside of my city, which is almost fine. But yeah, it's been really nice weather. And then today was like really, really hot.
It's been raining like crazy here. And it was cold.
Keep that up there. I don't want it. Don't send that down here. But I did try a place that does bubble waffles, like from Hawaii. It was good. The service wasn't the best. They're just recently opened up and they're still working out, I think, you know, the kinks and the timing and all of that stuff. It took a little bit longer than I would have liked. The boba tea was pretty good. They've got a really nice space. It's like open to the heat and it was very nice other than that. And the food was good. It was a little too long. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, I was about to get up and be like, where's my waffle?
So I have a couple of questions. Okay, so one with what kind of waffle was it?
Bubble waffle?
So bubble waffle, is that like the same consistency like the jiggly pancake thing?
No, it's just like a regular waffle. It's just instead of the little cubes, like the little pockets, they have like half moon indentures in the waffle maker. So it has little bubbles instead of the cubes. It's a waffle. It's just a different form.
Was it crispy?
It was firm on the outside. Like it was nice on the outside, which I liked. It was really soft in the inside, and the bubbles were really nice. Like they had a really nice consistency.
Now, do you put stuff on it like a funnel cake?
You can. There was one that was like strawberry and like powdered sugar and all this other stuff. Okay. I got an avocado toast waffle, which had bacon and everything, seasoning in the waffle mix itself. Mm-hmm. Which was really, it was tasty.
Sounds interesting.
I enjoyed it. It was nice to try something different.
My other question, I've never had boba tea. I think it would be an issue for me because they burst, right?
I think they would be an issue for you too.
I don't know what that is about. Like, Now my question is the other stuff, the rest of it, is that good? What does that taste like?
Yeah, it just tastes like fruit tea. It was fruit tea with strawberry bobas. So the bobas themselves are flavored.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could get it without. I've been hearing people be like, oh, I want like 5 times as much. I want like extra. Do you want like a little bit of milk?
I actually have not had milk tea with boba. All of the bobas I've ever had have all been like fruit teas, but I like milk tea on its own. Like I've had milk tea separately from boba. And okay. I do like milk tea.
Hey, I've enjoyed this catch up. I've learned a little bit. So we're going to be moving on to our news articles and news happenings this weekend and over the last week, I believe.
It's been a rough weekend if you've been kind of watching the news cycles. So between Friday and Sunday, there were 4 mass shootings in the United States of America. The first one was on Friday night after the Bucks game in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There were 21 people injured in shootings, 3 separate shootings. One of the incidents had 17 people injured. It's just, yeah, it's the worst. Let's just start there. Then on Saturday, and this is the one I think most people are going to be familiar with, is the shooting at the Buffalo grocery store. Young terrorists walked into a grocery store and shot 10 people, 3 others. That's the one that's kind of going through the cycles right now. And then Sunday, there were 2 shootings. One at a Laguna Woods, California church, where 1 was killed and 5 were injured. The congregants actually subdued the shooter. They hogtied him, took his weapon until the cops got there. And also on Sunday, there was a shooting at a Houston flea market where 2 were killed and 3 were injured. This one is a little different than the others. Both the Houston and the Buffalo were terrorist events. They were racist events. They were fueled by the vein that kind of runs through. And in the one in Houston, it actually seems like it might have been a 5 people fight and everyone just put out their guns. So it's been an eventful 2 days.
So that was California,
Hmm.
Wisconsin, Texas,
Yes.
and I'm missing one.
New York, Buffalo, New York.
I have, heard a little bit. This is my first time really finding out about how many out of everybody. There's only one person who has passed, who has died.
There were two at the Houston flea market
Hmm.
and 10 out of Buffalo.
Died.
Yes.
Jeez. And I'm not saying anyone shouldn't be taken into custody, but it's just always crazy, like how and who gets taken into custody, who is able to do so much. This whole thing going on where they're going after rappers for things that they said in lyrics, but yet y'all are absent in someone blasting online what they plan to do to kill people. You don't hear that. You don't see that. When and where does it stop?
And another thing to note about the Buffalo shooter is
Mm-hmm.
he live streamed the event. He had racial slurs on the weapon that he was using, white supremacist mottos visible and proudly saying it. He had put out a manifesto. It wasn't like this was a surprise. Last year, he threatened to shoot up his school. So I don't understand why he wasn't being monitored.
I feel like only the pandemic stopped this stuff. You know, when you work somewhere and they like how many days without an incident, it feels like that. Like we're just trying to keep to zero incidents, and no, and someone is always out here creating another one. It's just.
So you say that about the pandemic. There was early on, one of our representatives said something about, oh, no one's talking about school shootings now. And he had to be reminded because kids weren't in school. Kids hadn't been in school for months. And just from a personal standpoint, it upsets me and it frustrates me, particularly when we're talking about school shootings, that nothing is being done. Nothing, there's no movement. The moment that Sandy Hook happened,
Oh my gosh.
and a room full, like with 26, 25, like not even children, like babies, these are babies, were gunned down, and nothing happened at that point. That was when I knew our representatives, our government was never going to do anything about it, because there were always going to be backhand and back office deals to make sure that they could keep doing whatever they wanted to do. Nothing was going to change. And this kind of news where it's four in less than 4 days, it upsets me, it frustrates me, and it saddens me. But it's also one of those things where I don't see it changing.
Right. I was literally sitting here thinking that's what I feel like that was the biggest turn in history. The government was like, if we can watch them not care that babies and children were just massacred, when will they care about adults and teenagers and the elderly and the working class? Like, if they don't even care about babies, like, gee, we don't want to stay on such a sad note. I mean, rest in peace to all these people. And hopefully all those that were injured, it gets better from here for them. Condolences to the families who lost someone. We're gonna segue over to a little pop culture. And a few months, I think it's been since Astro World with Travis Scott. It seemed like at that concert is when a lot of people started to really expect things. When they went to a concert, people had ambulances being brought out, people were passing out, people were really succumbing to ailments, and the show just went on. The reason I bring it up is because recently this weekend as well, there was a Lovers and Friends festival in Las Vegas. And it seems that they really weren't paying attention to how many people were buying tickets and how they should be setting it up. And it just seems like a lot of the people who went, someone thought that there was a shooting. So obviously a stampede occurred. Even before that, it seems that there were a lot of complaints. The Lovers and Friends is the worst festival. They put out that the sound was awful anyway. The free water stations, which I thought was, to be commended, boiling hot water. There was barely any shade. There were thousands of people out there. And this is a festival that was sitting in 99-degree weather. Ella and I we've gone to a beer and wine festival before. We've gone to a couple. And the first one was great. The second one, not so much. And we really talked about how we had certain expectations. So I wanted to ask you, Ev, when you go to a festival or to a concert or anything, and you know it's going to be outside. What expectations do you have for the people who are putting it on to take care of you?
Basic foundation of safety. I
Mhm.
think, like, so things like not having water is not acceptable. Like, you should have access to water. You should have access to water for the amount of people who paid for ticket. You, as the planner, you made arrangements to figure out how many people could fit into the venue, how much space and how much energy and how many seats could be filled.
Mhm.
Then you need to be responsible for those people as just a foundation of safety. Also,
Yeah.
things like you need to security. I don't love metal detectors either, but if they keep a venue safe, there's a baseline of safety and security. And if you can't
Yeah.
fulfill that, if you can't make sure that those needs are met, things like toilets, like there has to be enough toilets. I'm sorry.
Girl,
Jesus.
what I will say, I thank the Lord that I have a bladder of steel most of the time. Because it is one of my nightmares to use a porta potty. But you know what, you're right. I really do agree with you on, there's just a few things that just are common sense. You would think I've already paid my money to be somewhere, and then I really want some water, and I have to go around and be like, please, sir, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
paying for water. Just give me water. I paid for my ticket. There should be water stands. I got to push pump to get some hot water bubbled up from underneath the sidewalk. We're in 2022. You tell me we can't do no better. I mean, because y'all made sure to take them ticket prices up. They should give out them water packs. Have you
The
ever
little
seen them?
camels.
Yeah, that would be so cool. And I mean, they could be, cheap. They could be cheap, but they should just give those out, and then you could just go and get refilled at a place. You know what I'm saying? Fill up my Camelback, like whatever. I think that would be so cool. But I'm sure that's too much money after I spent $400 to get it out here to stand in the park. But there was something that we didn't hit last week. Did you want to hit on it?
Oh,
It
you
was
have to be a little. Which one?
some creepy dude who was like taking air out of a tire.
Oh, Jesse Waters from Fox News
Mm-hmm.
he was proud about this story where he was telling about how he met his wife. So evidently he would like deflate her tires so that she would have to take a ride home with him. And I was like, that's not something to be proud of, sir. First off,
No.
he's always been a creep. Like, let's be real. I've seen clips. I haven't seen entire interviews because he's awful. And Fox News is garbage. But
Mm-hmm.
but like when I heard that, I was like, sir, that is that is
That's criminal
serial killer
mind.
vibes. Like that is, I'm definitely gonna rape you in the car.
Unsub.
There you go. He is
There we go.
absolutely an unsub. And the way he said it, he absolutely did it before. She was not the first one.
Somebody out there was probably watching and was like, he did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to thank you for catching up with us this week as we caught up with each other. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see that?